Most people think One of Them Days is just another comedic film that Issa Rae produced, so of course they're gonna check it out. It's the lady who made Insecure after all, so you know you're in for a ride. Also because this film is starring the BBL bandit herself, SZA. It's the first time she's ever been in a box office juggernaut such as this, but surprisingly, this movie is actually darker than you think. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, I will admit, but if you watch this movie closely and pay attention to the undertones, other than just laugh and giggle like a little kid, you realize that the message behind this film is actually really crucial and important because way too many people in America go through these problems on a daily. I think that's what made it so funny. There's a lot of relatable characters and sometimes even moments in this film that hit a little bit too close to home. So I'll be exploring the themes and meaning of One of Them Days. Let me explain.
The Big Dipper.
So at its core, this film is about one thing and one thing only. It's basically a domino effect of what happens when you date a dusty and a brokey who has no plans on fixing their life. Alyssa has a problem. She's been with this guy who's a bum. He's talented at laying pipe. That's it. The cliche stereotype of that one guy who's just a bum and the only service he provides is blowing out backs and making legs shake. Not to toot my own horn, but he's just like me. On second thought, I don't think it's good to want to be compared to Keshawn. This guy is useless. However, she's also kind of a loser. She's a painter, so at least she keeps herself busy. She paints these paintings, but she's a typical broke, starving artist archetype. It's one of those tropes. Her roommate is busy busting tables, but she wants more. So it's basically there's that one ambitious friend, and there's the other one who's pretty much a loaf. They're two peas in a pod, but they're completely opposite to one another at the end of the day. After all, as they say, opposites attract, so I'm gonna be breaking down Alyssa. So, Alyssa. I don't really like her. She reminds me of too many people I know that just like her have a huge Tinder problem. So basically she spends her time doing nothing other than painting, and she's too boy crazy, which is funny because at the age she is in this film, you'd expect her to care about things more important, like I don't know, not staying in the trenches. She doesn't have her priorities straight. The only thing she cares about is getting her back blown out. That's the only thing she really likes, and one of the only things she cares about is that fucking canvas. At least her stroking the brush ended up working out for her in the end. But that's jumping the gun. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Anyways, I'm not here to explain the movie, but I'm just gonna talk about this to touch on the previous point. So once she breaks up with her boyfriend because he clearly has a penetration problem, Keshawn can't keep his private parts to himself. He's a serial cheater. So to combat this, Alyssa goes straight to Tinder, and now she's trying to make him jealous. She meets this one Mexican dude at this stand and she sends a flick to her boyfriend, Keshawn, and then it just becomes a mess, obviously. So the point of me saying this is just to reiterate that Alyssa has a boy problem. If you examine this film under a microscope, you also start to notice that this is about the state of the housing crisis in America. Like, these two are staying in this apartment complex that's pretty shitty, honestly speaking. It's owned by this Nigerian landlord who doesn't care about anything other than his money. I get it, he's the landlord, he's the typical cliche, give me my money, give me my money, give me my money. If you don't give me my money, I'm gonna kick you to the curb. But it just makes everything funny because he's Nigerian, so you know the Nigerian stereotype that they're too obsessed with money, the Yahoo boys and everything. So yeah, that was pretty funny, but it's actually pretty scary when you think about it. Their rent is like 1.5, and that's already kind of expensive considering they're staying in this bummy, crusty place. And just to further add onto it, there's a part in the movie when they go to get a loan because they're broke and they can't even get one because their combined credit scores and their individual credit scores are at the same state as Lucky's residents. Deplorable. Alright, maybe Lucky shouldn't have caught that straight, but he did anyway. One of the funniest parts in this movie is the lady at the desk. She starts bursting into laughter because they're that broke. They're so down bad. For a brief second, I thought Lucky's situation was better than theirs. Stellar performance from Cat Williams, by the way. I expected nothing less. Alright, enough of me roasting these two broke girls and their finances. Let's talk about villains. There's the don't judge a book by its cover element of this film. For example, Dreux. She meets this bad man. No, like when they first introduced this man, I was thinking to myself, is bruh gang affiliated? I was fooled for the first half of the film. I was like, damn, okay bro, with your all black outfit looking like Darth Vader from the hood. But it turns out by the end of the film, we come to realize that he's a firefighter, he's actually pretty decent, so his character was a red herring the entire time. The whole nuance of the character basically being an allegory for don't judge a book by its cover. In the end, Dreux and him start dating, he drives her home, they become lovers, probably have kids, the whole shebang, you know how it goes. I think now is the time we talk about Big Booty Bernice. The whole social media arc was just a stern warning if you think about it. I think everyone caught that. Social media has people messed up. For example, Big Booty Bernice, aka Triple B, ended up becoming the antagonist of this film all due to socials. She's just mad because she got humiliated in front of thousands of people and possibly millions because everybody pulled out their phones and they filmed her being degraded and it got posted to the gram. That social commentary is pretty obvious. So Bernice has a reputation of being this woman who steals your man and has no intentions of keeping him. She just does it for the thrill. She's just a whore in the hood. I've met a few. It's a sight for sore eyes. The main antagonist of this film isn't even a baddie. She's a ratchet acting like a ratchet, willing to squabble over the pettiest of things. This is just hood politics at its finest, making a mountain out of a molehill. Bernice represents hood shenanigans and how things often get blown out of proportion because people who are living on the verge of poverty don't really have anything else to do but thrive in petty beefs and arguments. Alyssa's ex-boyfriend Keshawn is like her boy toy, like he's basically her sidekick willing to help her get revenge, which I found weird. I don't know why he doesn't just leave. Maybe that cat was too bomb. Probably. Hence a reputation of taking people's boyfriends. That or he feared that she'd literally rip his head off. You know what they say about crazy girls. That's besides the point. Her character also just serves as one huge metaphor about the things people are willing to do when they feel like social media has control over them. Now Bernice wants revenge because she wanted to embarrass them for making her feel embarrassed. Yeah, it's just one vicious cycle. And also to get the word spread on social media that, hey, I just beat these two for trying me. By the end of the film, we see on the title cards that they said, yeah, nobody tries Bernice anymore. So she got her lick back and won. Sorta, if you wanna see it that way. Some people thought that the white female character to just be that, a white lady, but I think it's actually deeper than that. To me, it seems like it's about how white people are gentrifying black communities / neighborhoods and taking them for their own. If you paid attention when they go to visit her apartment, she actually has an air conditioner, it works, her living space is way better than everybody else's. So I think that's just a metaphor for that, and basically you could say colonization and how there's a huge disparity in social classes, blah, blah, blah. But maybe I'm reaching a little, just a little. But there is some truth to that because look at how Uche treats her versus all his other tenants. It speaks volumes. My own perspective is that she's basically creeping into these said areas, aka black communities, and slowly infiltrating just like a Trojan horse. Gentrification at its finest. If you look at it even closer, she has this very bubbly persona that's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, pretending to be one thing whilst the whole time she has malicious intent. She could be genuine. I mean, she did buy Alyssa's artwork, but you never know. She just seems too bubbly for my liking, like go to the suburbs or something. Damn. For all we know, Bethany could just be trying to get on their side and then boom, when you lower your guard, you're in for a rude awakening. Just some food for thought right there. Can't ever trust a white woman named Bethany ever again. But real shit though, every time I saw her on screen, I kept on saying to myself, hi Lexi. If you know, you know. Also, this has nothing to do with the main topic of this video, but there's a point in the film that I thought was really cool. When they mentioned Franklin Saint and the guy who plays King Lola is actually Jerome from Snowfall. That's one of the best Easter eggs I've seen in a long time. Great cameo, good movie, solid 8 out of 10. That's all from me. Bye.